Welcome into the final regular season edition of the Finks Friday Night Blitz with a thanks to Finks Used Cars and Finks Harley Davidson. I'm Kevon Belcher, and as always, with me to my right, Steven Wasserman. Steven, we have finally made it to the last time in the regular season for this week's edition of the Finks Friday Night Blitz. It's been a year, man. It's been a year, and we finally got here.
Honestly, it's only been a few months, but you're right. It feels like it's been a year. We've had so many big matchups, and pretty sure in Week 10, you may have had the biggest of them all.
Man, I'm telling you, well, you know, one thing we had was some battles, but I don't think any, like you said, was bigger than the one out in Sheridan, where the New Lexington Panthers and the Sheridan Generals continue their rivalry. Steven, last year, the Panthers felt like they let a game slip away against them. They had the fourth quarter lead, and they just could not keep it. And they said they wouldn't let this happen again, so let's jump straight to the highlights. The Sheridan Generals crowd was live tonight as they hosted the New Lexington Panthers that are the small school champions starting the first quarter. And what better way to start off the game than with a flea flicker? It goes back to Isaiah Stevenson, and he tosses it to his favorite target, Bentley Hansen, and that's a huge play to get them inside the red zone. More from that duo later. Couple plays later, Stevenson back to pass, feels the pressure, escapes, and finds a wide open Talon Schwinden in the end zone. Panthers draw first blood and go up 8-0. Generals looking to respond in the second quarter, down 8-3. It's a give to Logan Russell, and he just takes tacklers with him inside the 10-yard line. Big run, and just you have to reward the big fella. Effort gives to Russell outside, makes a move and gets into the end zone. 10-8 lead for the Generals, but New Lexington has been here before. Stevenson responds in the best way he knows how, takes a big rocket toss to his guy Hansen, and no one will catch him. He high steps into the end zone. Panthers reclaim the lead on one play. It would be all New Lexington from there. Later on in the quarter, coach in his bag, pop pass to Schwinden again for his second touchdown today. I feel like you'll see him again on Monday. And then later on, 3rd and 14, put the ball in your playmaker's hands and let him work. Hansen on the screen pass, following his blocks, and lowers the shoulder and dives into the end zone, giving him his second touchdown of the day. He would finish with 3 of those and over 100 yards receiving on the day. It was 28-0 on the run after that Sheridan Generals touchdown by the Panthers, and they run away with it 36-10 and get the victory and get handed the small school NVL title trophy. And they will host a playoff game next Friday and possibly the week after if they get that victory. We call it with Coach Board after the game.
I think it's huge, man. We take it one game at a time. We knew this was a big one, and this is one we've all had circled. Like I said, last 2 years we lose by 11. Last year up in the 4th, don't close it out. So I feel like we've just been chopping and getting closer to this. But like I said, it's a huge win. You know, I think it means a lot. I think it tells these guys they can play with a team like Sheridan that's a perennial power each and every year. We can play with anybody we want to. But it's a huge win for us, man. Like, this is exciting. You know, we know that this is the big one, and this is one that you know, same as we said, Isaiah last year was taking a lot of flack. You know, it's like, well, hey, can Board win the big one? And you know, we haven't been able to. And so for us and for me to feel like, hey, you know, we got this, man. We can do it. We can accomplish it. It was great. And like I said, it's all for the kids. You know, it's a great opportunity for them and a great way to finish out their senior year to get this win and go 9-1.
Good stuff there. How about Tri-Valley in search of its first unbeaten regular season in a decade, already at 2 scores on John Glenn. Late second quarter, Max Lyle to Ryan LaMonica in space for a Scotty's first down. Under a minute to go in the second quarter. Lyle over the middle of Cade Heindel, but wait, the hook and ladder. Shaden Wallace down the sideline, all the way to the 1. But no problem, as Wallace is going to cap off the drive, punching one in through all the bodies to end the half. Tri-Valley up 28-7 at the break. Move on to the third quarter. Muskie's looking to create something on offense, but the Scotty's defense was all over it on 4th down. And sure enough, Tri-Valley drives down the field once more. This time it's Lyle to LaMonica. And this touchdown will seal the win 38-7, and it secures Tri-Valley's unbeaten regular season for the first time in 10 years.
Now let's take a look at the other NVL scores from Week 10, Steven.
That's right. Morgan upsets Philo at home. How about that to finish the season? 14-13. Philo now focuses on the playoffs. Then Coshocton goes off on senior night, defeating Riverview 55-6. Moving over to the LCL, Zanesville finishes the season on a sour note as the Blue Devils fall to Licking Heights by a 40-0 final.
Dang.
That's right. How about Rosecrans getting its 6th win of the season on the road, 30-12 over Millersport. But congrats to Brody Zemba surpassing the 1,000-yard rushing mark. How about that? Ridgewood defeats Garraway 22-14 for a 9-1 final regular season record. And also congratulations to Heath with a 36-6 trouncing of Utica on its senior night. Licking Valley creates a share of the Buckeye Division title in the LCL with Granville thanks to a 54-7 win over Watkins. And speaking of Granville, the Blue Aces finish at 9-1 as well, defeating Mount Vernon 53-14. And Newark with a big win, ending Lancaster's bid at a 10-0 season, winning it 36-25 to finish on a high note. Northridge defeats Lakewood 56-28 in other LCL action. Johnston Monroe wins 49-0 over Newark Catholic. Miller wins over Manchester 57-24. And then moving on, Buckeye Trail handles newcomers down 44-28. St. Clairsville upends Cambridge 55-8, and Caldwell blanks Shenandoah 37-0.
Well, coming up after the break, the Meadowbrook Colts look to bounce back from a tough loss from last week as they host the West Muskingum Tornadoes. We'll have that game and the Community Bank TV game of the week when the Friday Night Blitz returns. Thanks to Finks Used Cars and Finks Harley Davidson. Welcome back to the Finks Friday Night Blitz with the thanks to Finks Used Cars and Finks Harley Davidson. Steven, Meadowbrook had a tough loss last week. They welcome in a tough West Muskingum team that's looking to make a run into the playoffs. You had that game, and I mean, shoot, the playoffs are getting ready for West Muskingum, and they got to get ready.
That's right. West Muskingum is a powerhouse in the small school division year after year, and they were headed to Byesville for this one as we check out the highlights between Meadowbrook and, again, West Muskingum. And check this out. How about the Colts Marching Band? They're headed to the state competition tomorrow night. But the opening drive, right place, right time. Carter Smith, thank you very much. He opens the scoring for the Tornadoes. Meadowbrook, though, not to be deterred. It's Justice Huey sending this one into orbit, and it lands right in the arms of Bentley Cedar, putting the Colts into West End territory. And 2 plays later, the Colts capitalize in a big way. The defender bites. Braylon Lowry does the rest for the Colts touchdown. Those two have been at it all season for Meadowbrook. But this West End team is no joke, and neither is this guy, Carter Winland. He'll do the rest as he takes it to the house. The Tornadoes double up Meadowbrook 56-28 to finish the season at 7-2 on the year.
Man, now let's Maysville and Crooksville and the Community Bank TV game of the week. How about this boot from Matthew Harper, 47 yards later in the game. Cade Rock showing the mobility and the arm stretch, rolling out and dropping it right in the breadbasket to Landon Iden as he gets into the Ceramics 25-yard line. And if you can guess how many tackles Cohen Leland broke on this run, I'm telling you, you're a better counter than I am. And he finishes off the Panthers' drive in the end zone. Crooksville trying to make something and respond. Though at the end of this season, Hunter Hurst gets to the sideline and shows off the speed for a Ceramics score. But back to Rock, slinging the rock, throwing it into a double team, and somehow Iden comes down with it, and Maysville goes on the road and gets the win in Week 10 and ends their season off with a bang in a 17-14 victory over Crooksville. And I'm telling you, Crooksville, they started off great, but they just could not finish, man. Steven, it's that time of the year. The playoffs are here, and
cannot wait.
Dog, I'm telling you, the big 2 NVL champions, Tri-Valley and New Lexington, they have 2 playoff games next week, both at home. Those offenses are going to be critical into their matchups next week.
Yeah, for sure.
What are you looking for those 2 for next week's playoff game?
Honestly, I think it comes down to Max Lyle, Keaton Hahn, Caden Wallace. Those 3 are dynamic for Tri-Valley. For New Lexington, just keep doing what you're doing. Isaiah Stevens is no joke at quarterback. And then Bentley Hansen, you saw him tonight. That wide receiver is electric, and that's what's really going to help those 2 teams.
I'm telling you, and that will be all for this edition of the Finks Friday Night Blitz with thanks to Finks Used Cars and Finks Harley Davidson. Join us next week for our playoff edition of the Blitz with all the local area teams looking to win a state title. And that'll be all for us. Have a good night.